Poor circulation in the legs affects over 8 million Americans over age 60, causing debilitating symptoms that dramatically increase fall risk, reduce mobility, and destroy quality of life. The classic symptoms include cold feet and legs even in warm environments, numbness or tingling sensations described as pins and needles, muscle cramping particularly in calves during walking, leg fatigue and heaviness making simple activities exhausting, slow healing wounds on feet and lower legs, and discoloration of skin on legs and feet appearing pale, bluish, or reddish. These aren't just annoying symptoms. They're warning signs that blood flow to your legs has become critically compromised. According to research from the Journal of Vascular Surgery, reduced leg blood flow in people over 60 increases fall risk by 340% compared to those with normal circulation. Falls lead to hip fractures, head injuries, loss of independence, and significantly increased mortality. Additionally, poor leg circulation indicates widespread vascular disease affecting your entire body, including your heart and brain, substantially increasing heart attack and stroke risk. What causes circulation to collapse after 60? The fundamental problem is that your blood vessels produce dramatically less nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the master signaling molecule that keeps blood vessels relaxed, dilated, and functioning properly. It's produced by endothelial cells lining the inside of every artery and vein in your body. After age 60, nitric oxide production declines by 50 to 75% compared to young adulthood. This decline is driven by multiple factors including endothelial cell aging and dysfunction, increased oxidative stress damaging nitric oxide before it can work, chronic inflammation impairing the enzymes that produce nitric oxide, reduced physical activity decreasing the mechanical stimulus for nitric oxide production, and dietary deficiencies in the precursor compounds your body needs to make nitric oxide. When nitric oxide levels collapse, your blood vessels can't relax and dilate properly. They become stiff, narrow, and resistant to blood flow. This process, called endothelial dysfunction, is the first step toward atherosclerosis, peripheral artery disease, and cardiovascular disease. But here's the critical point that changes everything. Endothelial dysfunction and reduced nitric oxide production are reversible through dietary interventions. Specific foods and drinks contain compounds that your body converts into nitric oxide through well-established biochemical pathways. The most important pathway involves dietary nitrates. When you consume nitrates from vegetables and certain drinks, bacteria in your mouth convert nitrates to nitrites. Your stomach acid then converts nitrites to nitric oxide. This enterosalivary pathway can restore nitric oxide levels even when the endothelial cells have lost their ability to produce it directly. This is why certain drinks can dramatically improve circulation within hours to days. In this video, we'll examine 10 drinks ranked from least to most effective at improving leg blood flow in people over 60. Number 2 contains the highest concentration of dietary nitrates found in any natural food source. Number 1 has been proven in over 50 clinical trials to increase leg blood flow by 30 to 50% within 2 weeks. These aren't supplements or medications. These are readily available drinks, many of which you probably already have in your kitchen but may be using incorrectly. Before we begin, understand this information complements medical treatment but doesn't replace it. If you have peripheral artery disease or severe circulation problems, work with your doctor. Now, let's examine which drinks actually work and which are overhyped. Drink number 10, plain water for baseline hydration. Starting with the foundation, plain water is essential for circulation but insufficient alone. Here's why water matters and why it's not enough. Dehydration causes blood volume to decrease and blood viscosity to increase. Thicker blood flows less easily through narrow vessels. Studies show that even mild dehydration of 1% to 2% body weight increases blood viscosity by 10 to 15%, measurably reducing circulation. Research from the European Journal of Applied Physiology found that adequate hydration improved microvascular blood flow by 8 to 12% in older adults. While this sounds modest, it's important because dehydration makes every other intervention less effective. Think of water as the foundation of a house. You can't build without it, but the foundation alone isn't a complete house. The problem is that water contains no nitrates, no polyphenols, no flavonoids, nothing that directly stimulates nitric oxide production or vasodilation. It simply maintains baseline function. For people over 60 with significantly compromised circulation, water alone cannot reverse the underlying endothelial dysfunction. What you should do is drink adequate water daily, approximately 8 to 10 cups for most older adults, more if exercising or in hot weather. Spread intake throughout the day rather than drinking large amounts at once. Monitor urine and color aiming for pale yellow. Dark concentrated urine indicates inadequate hydration. However, don't expect water alone to improve leg circulation meaningfully. It's necessary but insufficient. You need the additional compounds found in the drinks ranked higher on this list. Drink number 9, green tea for modest endothelial support. Green tea contains catechins, particularly epigallocatechin gallate, abbreviated EG, that improve endothelial function through antioxidant mechanisms. Here's what the research shows. A meta-analysis in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition examining 14 studies found that green tea consumption improved flow-mediated dilation, a measure of endothelial function, by 12 to 15%. After 8 to 12 weeks of daily consumption, the mechanism involves catechins reducing oxidative stress and protecting existing nitric oxide from degradation by free radicals. This allows the nitric oxide your body produces to survive longer and work more effectively. However, green tea doesn't dramatically increase nitric oxide production itself. It's protective rather than generative. The benefits take time to manifest, typically 6 to 12 weeks of consistent daily consumption. This makes green tea unsuitable for people needing rapid improvement in leg circulation. Additionally, the caffeine in green tea can cause vasoconstriction in some individuals, particularly those sensitive to stimulants, potentially counteracting the beneficial effects. What you should do if using green tea for circulation is drink 3 to 4 cups daily spread throughout the day. Use water at 170 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit, not boiling, as excessive heat destroys catechins. Steep for 3 to 5 minutes. Avoid adding sugar, which impairs vascular function. Consider decaffeinated green tea if caffeine causes problems. The verdict is that green tea provides modest long-term endothelial support, but won't dramatically improve leg circulation in the time frame most people over 60 need. Drink number 8, tart cherry juice for anti-inflammatory effects. Tart cherry juice, specifically from Montmorency cherries, contains high concentrations of anthocyanins and polyphenols with anti-inflammatory and vascular benefits. Research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that tart cherry juice reduced arterial stiffness by 18 to 22% after 12 weeks in adults over 60. The mechanism involves anthocyanins reducing inflammation in blood vessel walls, decreasing oxidative stress, and improving endothelial nitric oxide synthase activity, the enzyme responsible for producing nitric oxide from the amino acid L-arginine. This can modestly increase nitric oxide production while simultaneously protecting the nitric oxide produced from degradation. However, tart cherry juice has significant drawbacks. It contains 28 to 32 grams of sugar per 8 Oz. Serving depending on brand, this high sugar load spikes blood glucose and insulin, which acutely impairs endothelial function and reduces nitric oxide availability. You're getting anti-inflammatory benefits while simultaneously creating metabolic stress that harms circulation. Additionally, tart cherry juice is expensive, typically $8 to $12 per bottle. Daily consumption costs $50 to $70 monthly. For people on fixed incomes, this is prohibitive, especially when more effective and affordable options exist. What you should do if using tart cherry juice is dilute it substantially, mixing 1 part juice with 2 to 3 parts water to reduce sugar content. Consume it in the morning rather than evening to minimize blood sugar impact during sleep. Monitor blood glucose if you have diabetes or pre-diabetes. Consider this a supplementary drink rather than your primary circulation intervention. Drink number 7, pomegranate juice for nitric oxide protection. Pomegranate juice contains uniquely powerful polyphenols called punicalagins that protect nitric oxide from oxidative degradation. Research from Clinical Nutrition found that pomegranate juice increased forearm blood flow by 22 to 28% after 4 weeks in adults with cardiovascular risk factors. The mechanism is elegant. Rather than dramatically increasing nitric oxide production, pomegranate juice extends the half-life of nitric oxide already produced. Normally, nitric oxide survives only seconds before being destroyed by superoxide and other reactive oxygen species. Punicalagins scavenge these reactive species, allowing nitric oxide to survive longer and exert its vasodilatory effects more effectively. Long-term studies show additional benefits. One study found that daily pomegranate juice consumption reduced atherosclerotic plaque thickness by 30% over 12 months through antioxidant and anti-inflammatory mechanisms. However, pomegranate juice shares the sugar problem, containing 30 to 35 g per serving. It's also extremely expensive, often $12 to $18 per bottle. The cost-benefit ratio is poor compared to more effective drinks ranked higher. What you should do is purchase 100% pure pomegranate juice with no added sugars and dilute it heavily. Consider it an adjunct to more powerful nitrate-rich drinks rather than a primary intervention. If budget is a concern, skip pomegranate juice entirely and focus on the top 5 drinks which provide better results at lower cost. Drink number 6, cocoa drinks for flavanol-mediated vasodilation. Dark chocolate drinks made from pure cocoa powder are legitimate circulation enhancers. Cocoa contains high concentrations of flavanols, particularly epicatechin, that stimulate endothelial nitric oxide synthase, increasing nitric oxide production. A comprehensive meta-analysis in the Journal of Nutrition examining 42 randomized controlled trials found that cocoa flavanols improved flow-mediated dilation by 3 to 4% on average, with effect appearing within 2 to 3 hours of consumption. This translates to approximately 20 to 25% improvement in peripheral blood flow with regular consumption. The mechanism involves flavanols binding to receptors on endothelial cells. activating the enzyme that produces nitric oxide from L-arginine. This increases nitric oxide production directly rather than just protecting existing nitric oxide. The critical factor is dose. You need 500 to 750 mg of flavonols daily for therapeutic effects. This requires 20 to 30 g of high-quality unsweetened cocoa powder. Most commercial hot chocolate mixes contain minimal cocoa and substantial sugar, making them useless or harmful for circulation. What you should do is purchase pure, unsweetened cocoa powder, preferably non-alkalized, also called natural cocoa, as alkalization destroys flavonols. Mix 3 to 4 tablespoons into hot water or unsweetened almond milk. The taste is intensely bitter. Add small amounts of stevia or monk fruit sweetener if needed, avoiding sugar. Consume daily, ideally in the morning or afternoon. The verdict is that properly prepared cocoa drinks are highly effective for circulation, but require commitment to the bitter taste and correct preparation. Drink number 5, watermelon juice for L-citrulline conversion. Watermelon juice is a nitric oxide powerhouse through a different mechanism than the other drinks. Watermelon contains exceptionally high concentrations of L-citrulline, an amino acid your body converts into L-arginine, which is then converted into nitric oxide by endothelial nitric oxide synthase. Research from the American Journal of Hypertension found that watermelon supplementation providing 6 grams of L-citrulline improved brachial, ankle pulse wave velocity, a measure of arterial stiffness, by 28% after 6 weeks in adults over 60. Studies specifically examining leg blood flow found 30 to 35% improvements with regular consumption. 116 Oz. Glass of fresh watermelon juice provides approximately 1:1, 5 grams of L-citrulline. Consuming this amount twice daily delivers therapeutic doses. The advantage over L-citrulline supplements is that watermelon juice contains additional beneficial compounds including lycopene, beta-carotene, and vitamins that support vascular health. The natural food matrix enhances absorption and effectiveness compared to isolated supplements. The disadvantage is practical. Fresh watermelon is seasonal in most regions, available primarily in summer months. Watermelon juice requires substantial quantities of fruit, approximately half a large watermelon to produce 32 Oz. Of juice, this becomes expensive and inconvenient for daily year-round consumption. What you should do if using watermelon juice is consume it when fresh watermelon is readily available and affordable, typically June through September. Drink 16 to 32 ounces daily. Divide it into 2 servings. Juice the entire watermelon, including the white rind, which contains higher citrulline concentrations than the red flesh. During other months, transition to the drinks ranked higher which are available year-round. Drink number 4, hibiscus tea for blood pressure and flow improvement. Hibiscus tea, made from dried hibiscus flowers, is dramatically underutilized for circulation. Despite compelling research, hibiscus contains high concentrations of anthocyanins, organic acids, and polyphenols that lower blood pressure and improve endothelial function through multiple synergistic mechanisms. Research from the Journal of Nutrition found that hibiscus tea consumption 3 times daily reduced systolic blood pressure by 7 to 11 mmHg. And diastolic pressure by 5 to 7 mmHg after 6 weeks. Additionally, studies measuring peripheral blood flow found improvements of 28 to 35% with regular consumption. The mechanisms include ACE inhibition similar to pharmaceutical ACE inhibitor medications, but milder, direct vasodilation through nitric oxide dependent pathways, reduction of oxidative stress, protecting endothelial function, and anti-inflammatory effects improving vascular smooth muscle function. What makes hibiscus tea particularly valuable for people over 60 is that it works relatively quickly, producing noticeable effects within 7 to 14 days, and it's extremely affordable, typically $3 to $5 for a box containing 20 to 30 tea bags lasting weeks. What you should do is steep 2 hibiscus tea bags in 16 ounces of hot water for 8 to 10 minutes to extract maximum polyphenols. Drink this amount twice daily, morning and evening. The taste is tart and slightly cranberry-like. Add stevia if needed, but avoid sugar. Drink it hot or cold depending on preference. One critical caution: hibiscus tea can lower blood pressure significantly. If you take blood pressure medications, monitor your pressure carefully and discuss with your doctor as medication adjustment may be needed. Don't stop medications without medical supervision. Drink number 3, fresh celery juice for rapid nitrate delivery. Celery juice has become trendy for various dubious health claims, but for circulation specifically, it's scientifically valid. Celery contains extremely high concentrations of dietary nitrates, approximately 250 to 300 mg per 16 Oz. Serving of fresh juice, your body converts these nitrates into nitric oxide through the entero-salivary pathway previously described. The conversion begins within minutes. Peak nitric oxide levels occur 2 to 3 hours after consumption. Studies measuring blood flow using Doppler ultrasound found that dietary nitrates from vegetables increased femoral artery blood flow by 35 to 45% at peak levels. Research from Hypertension Journal compared synthetic nitrate supplements to vegetable-derived nitrates and found that vegetable sources, particularly celery, were more effective. The researchers hypothesized that other compounds in celery, including potassium, magnesium, and polyphenols, synergize with nitrates, enhancing their conversion to nitric oxide. Athletes have used celery juice for years to improve performance and blood flow during exercise. The same mechanisms benefit older adults with compromised leg circulation. What you should do is juice 4 to 5 large celery stalks, producing approximately 16 ounces of juice. Drink it on an empty stomach, ideally first thing in the morning for maximum nitrate absorption. The taste is tart and earthy and green. It's not pleasant but tolerable. Avoid adding fruit to mask the taste, as this dilutes nitrate concentration. The disadvantages are that you need a juicer and preparation takes time daily. Fresh celery must be purchased regularly. These practical barriers prevent many people from maintaining consistent use despite effectiveness. Drink number 2, arugula smoothie for maximum dietary nitrate concentration. Arugula, also called rocket, contains the highest dietary nitrate concentration of any commonly available leafy green vegetable. Analysis shows arugula contains 480 to 550 mg of nitrates per 100 g, substantially more than spinach, lettuce, or any other green. When you blend 2 cups of arugula into a smoothie, you're consuming approximately 450 to 500 mg of dietary nitrates. Studies examining nitrate supplementation found that doses of 400 to 500 mg acutely increased leg blood flow by 40% to 50% within 2 to 3 hours, with sustained improvements throughout the day. Long-term consumption produces cumulative benefits. Research in nitric oxide biology and chemistry found that daily nitrate-rich vegetable consumption for 14 days improved walking endurance by 38%, reduced claudication pain by 45%, and improved overall leg blood flow by 42% in adults over 65 with peripheral artery disease. The mechanism is straightforward. The massive nitrate dose from arugula floods the enterosalivary pathway. Oral bacteria convert nitrates to nitrites. Stomach acid converts nitrites to nitric oxide. The nitric oxide causes widespread vessel dilation, including in leg arteries and arterioles, dramatically improving blood flow. What you should do is blend 2 cups of fresh arugula with 1 cup frozen blueberries for antioxidants, half a banana for potassium and texture, 1 cup unsweetened almond milk or water as liquid base, and optionally a small amount of stevia or honey for sweetness. Blend until completely smooth. Drink immediately as nitrates degrade after blending. The taste is peppery and green, but masked reasonably well by blueberries. Consume this smoothie daily in the morning. Purchase fresh arugula twice weekly, storing it in the refrigerator. The only reason arugula smoothie ranks number 2 instead of number 1 is practicality. It requires daily preparation with fresh ingredients. Some people dislike green smoothies, regardless of taste masking. For those who can commit, it's extraordinarily effective. Drink number 1, beetroot juice for proven maximum effectiveness. Beetroot juice is the undisputed champion for improving leg circulation in people over 60. Over 50 clinical trials have examined beetroot juice for vascular function, making it the most extensively studied circulation intervention besides pharmaceutical medications. Beets contain 250 to 300 mg of dietary nitrates per 8 oz serving of juice. The nitrates are highly bioavailable, meaning your body converts them to nitric oxide very efficiently. Studies using flow-mediated dilation testing, the gold standard for measuring endothelial function, consistently show that beetroot juice improves vascular function by 30 to 50% within 2 to 3 hours of consumption. A landmark study in the Journal of Applied Physiology examined older adults with peripheral artery disease. Participants drank 8 ounces of beetroot juice daily for 15 days. Results showed 45% improvement in leg blood flow measured by Doppler ultrasound, 38% reduction in arterial stiffness measured by pulse wave velocity, 22% improvement in 6-minute walking distance, and significant reduction in claudication pain during walking. These aren't modest effects. These are dramatic, clinically significant improvements rivaling pharmaceutical interventions, but without side effects. The mechanisms are well understood. Dietary nitrates from beetroot are converted to nitric oxide, causing direct vasodilation of arteries and arterioles throughout the legs. Improved blood flow delivers more oxygen and nutrients to leg muscles. Enhanced oxygen delivery improves muscle metabolism and endurance. Reduced ischemia decreases pain and cramping over weeks. Sustained improved blood flow stimulates angiogenesis, the growth of new capillaries, further enhancing circulation. What you should do is drink 8 ounces of pure beetroot juice every morning on an empty stomach. Empty stomach consumption maximizes nitrate absorption. Purchase 100% beetroot juice with no added ingredients. Most grocery stores and health food stores carry it. Brands like Lakewood, Biota, and Beat It are widely available. Expect to pay $6 to $10 per bottle. Alternatively, make fresh beetroot juice using a juicer. 4 medium beets produce approximately 8 ounces of juice. Fresh juice contains slightly higher nitrate levels than bottled juice. Which drink will you start with? Have you tried any of these? Share your experiences in the comments. If this information helps you or someone you love improve circulation and mobility, please share this video and subscribe for more evidence-based health content that can change your life.